This podcast is made possible by the listener members of Nashville Public Radio.
It's Wednesday, December 25th. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. I'm Rachel Iacovone, and you're listening to a special holiday edition of the Nashvillager podcast from Nashville Public Radio and WPLN News. When I first moved to Nashville, it was to replace now WNXP's Jason Moon Wilkins on the morning host shift. And while shadowing him that first week, I was brought up to speed on many cultural things I, being from south of the South in Florida, was never exposed to. New Nashville meant you didn't hear people discussing their music careers in coffee shops anymore, he told me. The snippets you caught of conversations were now often about what God had put on their heart or the specific sin they were struggling with. Once it was pointed out, I couldn't stop hearing exactly that all around me in town. I felt like a religious minority as a cradle Catholic, and imagined those of different faiths entirely felt that even more so. So I started pitching stories about what everyone else was up to. There are about a dozen people in the room, singing along from behind their masks as they sit cross-legged on duct tape markers 6 feet apart. Diwali is a celebration of light and darkness and good over evil. For Sikhs, it's also an Independence Day, marking the time when one of their gurus negotiated his release from a Muslim prison along with 52 Hindu princes. This is Nashville's Tasha A.F. Lemley followed suit the next year with a Diwali story from the Hindu perspective.
Priests perform puja, or worship, while devotees file through, stopping to pay tribute to dozens of deities around the room. Naga Rajan says there's a few reasons Hindus celebrate Diwali: to commemorate Lord Ram's return home, honor a number of God's various forms, or even to celebrate the bond between brothers and sisters.
In 2024, then education reporter Alexis Marshall even found a school's tie-in to Ramadan.
My name is Wad Akasha. I'm in 11th grade. Obviously, in the cafeteria, everyone is eating in front of you and is making you hungrier. And when you're together in a classroom, you can actually connect with other students that are practicing the same things you're practicing for your religion. So in previous years, we have had classrooms to come sit in if we didn't want to go to the lunchroom. But it was hard with the praying part. Like, a lot of people would just use it as a time to skip classes. And I feel like this year we're doing a lot better because we have someone supervising everything, and we have specific passes for each person that wants to pray.
In between all these pieces, WPLN, of course, covered the latest in the Nashville-based Southern Baptist Convention, the splitting of the United Methodist Church, and local newsmakers like Greg Locke and his Global Vision Bible Church. But it wasn't until this past spring that we got a truly unique religion pitch, not tied to a holiday or a controversy. It was so good, our newscast producer Char Daston said he wanted to go out to Murfreesboro at 6 a.m. on a Saturday, and we all agreed he should. You see, in the Naga ordination ceremony, a young Southeast Asian man is temporarily ordained as a Buddhist monk. The ceremony is considered a rite of passage in Thailand, but it hasn't carried over to Thai communities in the U.S. Char shadowed a first-generation Thai American who took on the challenge of becoming a monk.
It's 7 a.m. on a brisk, cloudy morning at Wat Lao Buddharam, a Buddhist temple in Murfreesboro. Don Sri Suryo stands on the porch of the temple's large, red-roofed meeting house in a white robe. He's ready for the ceremony to begin.
Yeah, right now.
He's got a mane of flowing black hair, but not for long. His friends and family form a single-file line behind him, each cutting a bit off. This is just the first in a series of challenges Don will face. After today's ceremony, he'll spend a week at the temple, where he has to abide by the same rules as the rest of the monks, including the shaved hairstyle. Don's dad, Lee Sri Suryo, explains the rules are complicated and strict.
When he become a monk, he cannot touching women. any women, even the mom, and you can eat from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. only. And after 12, you can drink only water.
And the ceremony itself is far from over.
Wait, where do I stand?
After the head shaving, Don leads a parade, 3 laps around the temple. There's music and showers of coins wrapped in shiny foil. In the temple's ubosot, or ordination hall, Don has to repeat a long prayer in Pali, the language of some Buddhist scripture. The rigor of the ceremony, and monkhood in general, is one reason Thai Americans don't often undergo this ritual. There also just aren't that many temples or monks that rank highly enough to perform the ordination in the US. Don says it's been at least 10 years since the last one at Wat Lao Budaram. But Middle Tennessee State University, where he works, has a large population of Thai students, and Murfreesboro has a sizable community from another Buddhist country, Thailand's neighbor, Laos. And becoming a temporary monk is a huge deal in Southeast Asian Buddhism.
If he become a monk, that means that mom and dad will go to heaven when they pass away. That's what it is.
But Don was hoping for even more than his parents' happiness in the afterlife. He thought this ritual could help him build a bridge between his Thai heritage and his other friends and family in Murfreesboro.
I remember growing up, no one knew what Thai culture was. People only knew about Chinese culture and Japanese culture. I don't want to call it racism, but I grew up with kind of the indifference and kind of the ignorance around other people. I wasn't very much aware of my own culture and how to, defend it and how to talk about it. And this is my way of deepening my connection to my Thai culture, to better understand it and to better talk about it with other people.
During a break in the ceremony, Don's colleague at MTSU, religion professor Rebecca King, says she thinks Don accomplished his goal.
As a scholar of religion, I'm aware of the temporary ordination rituals, but it's very rare for members of the community to be able to come and observe something like this. So it's really a testament to Don's sort of generous spirit that he has welcomed his work friends and community members to come and be part of this really special ritual.
Speaking of generosity, the final part of the ceremony involves Don's family giving offers of food and toiletries to each monk at the temple. The monks rely entirely on donations from the community. Don's mom, Ann Sri Suryo, says shopping for the ceremony, including the offerings and some special religious items, was a full-time job.
Oh my gosh, I have been prepared for this ceremony for months because I need to get everything ready. So many things to do, so many things to buy, too many foods to cook. I am so proud of my son. This is what he wants to do for us. We didn't even ask him to do it. So he's always been a good kid. I'm always proud of him.
By the time the ceremony wraps up, it's afternoon. Don has exchanged his white robe for a burnt orange one, and he looks just like the other monks. It's all beginning to sink in.
It didn't really hit me that there's rules I have to abide by, there's things that I will have to do, and following them to the letter will make my time as a monk successful, as to not let down my parents and let down my family.
Don will soon leave his loved ones to begin his week-long stay at the temple. For now, though, he begins his fast, and the guests dig into a feast of fried rice, green curry, and deep-fried spring rolls. Char Daston, WPLN News.
You can learn more about Don's week at the temple at WPLN.org and check out the many, many photos I snapped of the day-long ceremony. Thanks so much for listening. Tomorrow, I hand off the baton to Char, who will share more of our favorite stories from 2024 now that I've gotten a chance to brag on his behalf. Happy holidays, Nashvillagers. I'll see you in the new year.